Discovery Youth. I just wanted to jump on and say hello and see how you're all doing. This is hard, isn't it? It's hard, the sun is shining and you're at home expected to study, especially if you're doing exam years. This is hard. It's not easy, and my heart is going out to you. Feels like it's been a long time since life was just regular and normal, and it might be a little while before it goes back to that too. And I wanted to jump on maybe and just give you a little bit of perspective. I don't know, maybe you're doing really, really well, and I'm sure you are, and I'm sure you're handled like a boss. I'm sure you're doing exactly what your parents are asking you to do, and there's no tension between you and your sister or brother, and you're studying and you're the perfect student, I'm sure. Or if you're human at all, you're having times where it's kind of hard and it's hard to focus and it's hard to understand, and I definitely don't have a good answer. I don't understand why all of this is happening, and I think that God's heart is really broken over all of the destruction this virus has caused, and all we can do really is respect what we're being asked to do and pray. We can really pray for people who are experiencing the side effects and the impact of this virus, and pray for people who are sick. We can really do that. It makes such a difference. I was thinking last night about characters in the Bible and things that they experienced, and this a little bit feels like pointless, a little bit like it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of sickness. It feels unnecessary. It feels like there was enough going on, we didn't need this as well. And sometimes if I go down that route, I can get a bit overwhelmed by like, what's the point of this? Like, there's no point to this. And as I was thinking about that last night and praying, I was thinking about characters in the Bible who may have felt like certain things are pointless too. Now, I'm not saying I have a good answer as to why the whole world is in the situation we're in. I definitely don't. But I do know that nothing is pointless in terms of us waiting in this experience, and us being locked in our house might feel pointless, and us not being able to go see our friends might feel pointless. But there's nothing pointless in that sense. And I was thinking about the character in the Bible, David. Now, I'm sure you know loads about David, but you should read 1 Samuel, because it gives an account of David's life before he was king and before he wrote the Psalms and did all those incredible things. And there's a piece where he's a shepherd boy, and he's about maybe between like 12 and 15. They don't know for sure what age he is, but Samuel is told by God to go and anoint the next king. And so Samuel goes to Jesse's house, and Jesse's got loads of lads, and Samuel thinks it's definitely this one, this lad's so strong, it must be him. And it turns out it's David, the shepherd boy, who's a child really. And Samuel is surprised by God's choice, but God knew what he was doing. And from that point, when he was commissioned to be king first, until he became king of Israel, he was 30 when he became king of Israel, and he was between like 12 and 15 when he was commissioned first. And so in that time, there was a lot of waiting. There's a lot of waiting for David to experience the promise that God spoke over him. And I wondered about what he was doing in all that waiting. Now, I know he was, there was the David and Goliath story, or he was also the musician for Saul, the king at the time. And he did things, but especially as a shepherd, I wondered, like, did he ever feel like, what was the point? And I read this verse in 1 Samuel, and I want to read it for you, and I encourage you to have a little look at it and study the character of David yourself. It'll give you something to do besides studying for your exams. It's in 1 Samuel 17, and this is where Saul is trying to convince David to put on all the armour to fight Goliath, but David doesn't want it. And David says, "Your servant used to keep sheep for his father, and when there came in a lion or a bear and took a lamb from the flock, I went after him and struck him and delivered it out of his mouth. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine." And Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." I don't know about you, but I wondered in that, did David ever feel like it was pointless wrestling bears and lions, although it sounds very exciting? But like, he was a shepherd trying to protect these lambs that were being taken by bears and lions, and he was waiting for God's promise. And I'm sure there was frustration, I'm sure there was exhaustion, I'm sure he was fed up of not being able to do what he thought he was supposed to be doing. And yet you see, when it comes to him fighting Goliath, and when it comes to him doing what he was called to do. You see all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. And so nothing is pointless. It might feel pointless. It might feel exhausting. It might feel frustrating, but nothing is pointless. And so I want to encourage you today, first of all, to read the story of David, because it's an amazing story. And also just to remember that it's difficult, no doubt, like it's difficult, especially if you're doing exams, leaving certs and junior certs. I'm really praying for you, for the whole country who are doing exams, because it's really hard. But nothing is pointless, and all of this experience that you're going through right now, who knows in the future how it's going to build your character, how it's going to help you accept things that you can't change, how it's going to help you just be the kind of person you're called to be. And so be encouraged. It's hard. We're all in it together. I'm really praying for you genuinely, and we'll come out of this and there'll be purpose to this waiting period of being at home and doing what your parents are asking you to do, and studying well, and cleaning your room, and doing all those things that you find frustrating now. You'll see as time goes on that there was purpose and point to it. So hang in there. We miss you. I miss you. I miss being at church together. I miss seeing your faces. I miss it, but we'll get back there soon. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine from your back garden, and I will chat to you again very soon.